Start topic 9.7 Resistance to Globalization after 1900. So, our question is, what were various responses to globalization from 1900 to the present? So, for context, new advancements in technology such as planes and the internet led to easier international trade and change. Many states introduced a free market economy, allowing for new multinational organizations to form. Some opposed the idea of local economies being controlled by multinational organizations, forming the basis of most anti-globalization movements. So for vocab, we have Muhammad Yunus, Theresa May, Maulana al-Sharif, child labor, the Rana Plaza factory, ecotourism, human rights, fair trade, sustainable development, debt reconstruction, Brexit, and the Uyghurs. So, Muhammad Yunus. Muhammad Yunus is a Bangladeshi economist and founder of the Grameen Bank. He pioneered microfinance to help impoverished individuals, especially women, become financially independent. So this is opposed to organizations like the WTO and IMF controlling trade markets and disadvantaging smaller businessmen and farmers and people like that. So Theresa May was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 2016 to 2019 and played a key role in overseeing Brexit, the UK's withdrawal from the European Union. Her leadership reflected resistance to globalization by promoting national sovereignty and reducing the UK's ties to the globalized European economy. And then Maulana al-Sharif. She's a Saudi women's rights activist. She led the campaign against the ban on women driving. Her activists resisted globalization's tendency to overlook local issues by challenging restrictive cultural norms.
Child labor is often a result of globalization as a multinational corporation seek cheap labor in developing countries. For example, companies like Nike and Apple have faced criticism for using factories where children work in poor conditions for low wages. Rana Plaza factory collapse in 2013 in Bangladesh exposed the dangers of globalization as major brands relied on unsafe factories. The disaster sparked global protests demanding better labor rights. Ecotourism resists globalization by promoting local sustainability over mass tourism, which often harms ecosystems. For example, Costa Rica focuses on one eco-friendly travel to protect its rainforest while benefiting local communities. Human rights resistance to globalization arises when economic interests overshadow individual freedoms. For example, activists like Menal el-Sharif challenged oppressive laws in Saudi Arabia despite global businesses prioritizing profits over rights. Fair trade resists globalization by ensuring farmers and workers in developing countries receive fair wages and better working conditions. For example, fair trade certified coffee helps small farmers compete against large corporations that exploit cheap labor. Sustainable development resists globalization by prioritizing environmental and social well-being over unchecked economic growth. For example, Sweden invests in renewable energy to reduce dependence on global fossil fuel markets. Debt restructuring resists globalization by helping struggling nations avoid harsh economic policies imposed by global financial institutions. For example, Argentina negotiated with the IMF to ease in-debt burden and regain economic stability. Brexit resisted globalization by rejecting the European Union's economic and political integration in favor of national sovereignty. For example, the UK regained control over its trade policies and immigration laws after leaving the EU in 2020. Uyghur, a Muslim minority in China, have resisted globalization as their culture and rights face oppression due to China's global economic and political ambitions. For example, international attention to Uyghur forced labor in Xinjiang led to global sanctions and bans on certain Chinese imports.
In colonized regions, resistance to imperial rule led to the emergence of nationalist movements. Nations such as India, Vietnam, and many African countries began to challenge foreign dominance, striving for independence and right to self-determination. Following World War II, institutions such as the United Nations, the International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank were established to promote global cooperation and support economic recovery. This was also the rise of the United States and Soviet Unions. During the late 20th century, globalization was commonly linked to the expansion of Western culture, especially American culture, through films, music, technology, and multinational corporations. The Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, leading to the integration of communist countries into the global capitalist system. The early 21st century was filled with economic and environmental protests against organizations such as the MIF and the WTO. Increased awareness of climate change as temperatures are increasing is a big thing in the 21st century.